Okay.
All right. Welcome back to the Mobility Project. Let me give you a typical example. In the middle of a class, in the middle of a workout, end of workout, peri-workout, one of our good friends calls and says, hey, I'm having a problem. The hallmark of good coaching is that if you see a video or even talk to an athlete or see how an athlete moves after a while, you're going to already have a kind of pre-cue or pre-contact cue about what the issues are with the athlete. In this situation, this is an athlete who gave us a call who's really, really good. I mean, really good, world-class athlete, friend of ours. Said, hey, my knees are getting a little hot. And fortunately, I've seen some pictures of this athlete snatching. And one of the kind of the last images in my head is this athlete ending up in a lot of these heavy upright snatching positions with knees in a little bit, which tells me a little bit about what's going on. Anytime I see a receiving position with the knee in, a little bit valgus, that kneecap tends to pull off axis. That patellar starts to load at kind of an oblique angle. So one of the very first things we want to do is make sure we're cueing that athlete to land and have knees out in that extra rotated position. So when we hit the bottom, it's looking for rotation that we keep talking about, not landing soft forward and back. We'll probably say the same kind of cues is that when this athlete squats, to try to put those femurs somewhere, especially given tight hips, that they'll probably initiate and come with a really forward foot or forward knee position. Any upright torso position or being a little bit limited in the hips where I drive the knee forward as a compromise to knee out in that bottom position tends to load this anterior chain and require a little bit more of it. So if we're just solving this problem right off the bat for this athlete, hot knees. He's on fish oil, he eats like a monk, he ices like banshee. We know that he's dealing with the inflammation of this tissue. So what do we need to think about? Well, the very first thing we're going to think about are what are the tissues that cross the leg. And in this situation, I'm going to really focus on the back of the knee. So the structures that cross the knee, one of the things that happens is if that knee gets a little bit tight in the back, this athlete's missing what we call terminal knee extension. Everyone should be able to hyperextend a little bit on the back of the knee. So if he's high gastroc tightness, which we know how to mobilize, hey, hang on, look at that. Or distal hamstring tightness, that can certainly be the problem. So homework number one for this athlete, let's get him absolutely, and this is for you, winding up the calf, bringing the hip to the wall, and camping out into those different corners. I really want to make sure that I'm kind of exaggerating and exposing kind of the lateral head of that gastroc. Homework number two is to go ahead and take our ball. You want to prop that open? There you go, Bear. Let's take that ball, we've been exploring this, put it behind that knee on either side, and let's see if we can't smash that a little bit. One of the things you're going to get with this is we almost create a little flexion, gapping in the knee, but just capturing a little bit of this lateral head, and also the insertion of this hamstring in here allows me to kind of roll back and forth. I think Metric or Professor Stephen Plattick said, hey, he's making circles, and notice that it really hit this area well. So if you're tight in the back of the corners, that can certainly do it. How do I feed slack to the patellar tendon? Well, one of the things that I can do is put this ball right above the knee in this suprapatellar pouch. And the treatment for knees that are arthritic is to open up the suprapatellar pouch in surgery. Hang on one second, Bear Star. So I'm going to get this knee here, ball right on the kneecap. And what are we going to do today? In different quadrants of that kneecap. So right on different sides. I'm on the lateral quadrant, 20 pumps. Medial quadrant, kind of right in the middle, 20 pumps. Excuse me, central. And then I'll open in just a second, Bear Star. And then the last one, right on the inside here, 20 pumps. And what I'm going to try to do is just create space right around above the kneecap. Finally, you know what I'm thinking, you know what you're thinking. We need a couple pieces for this. So, let's make sure that that athlete is doing some kind of hip opener for the hip capsule. And this time we're going to focus. He's rolling his quads out. He knows that makes a difference, so I'm taking that off the table in the interview. But, let's go ahead. Well, then just a second, baby. Pressing that hip open. You may need to double this band, triple the band, put a black band on. Get some big tension here. And then let's go ahead and tie the psoas in. So I squeeze the butt, arrive on tension, add the belly, really open up that corner and camp out. There's no wrong place, just you not exploring your positions. And finally, last but not least, the single stretch that could do away with waterboarding. The single stretch that operators tell us is worse than being tortured. We got to get him here, and we're going to press the hip to the ground. So we'll get a little bit different stimulus. Knees a little bit wound up in this corner, all right? Taking a crack at it. Start with the obvious things you know. Work upstream and downstream of the tissues. Get those tissues some slack, all right? We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I see Tiger is here.
I see Tiger.